the green one.
In Whitney and Waller Austin's living room is an arresting piece of art, a wall of guns. Not what you would expect in a home with two young children, but almost everything about Whitney Austin is unexpected. The Louisville, Kentucky wife and mom is an accidental activist.
I'm a peacemaker. I have no desire to fight about anything.
Yet she is fighting hard to drastically reduce gun violence in the U.S., not by eliminating guns, but by getting both sides of the gun debate to find a middle ground.
Do you feel safe?
Spurred by what she calls a miracle. But more on that later. Whitney, a former banker, works from Kentucky, where more than half of households own at least one gun, including her own.
Are people surprised that you guys own guns?
I think maybe people outside of Kentucky are surprised, but you've got more gun owners in this state than you have non-gun owners.
At times, Whitney says she feels like she's fluent in two languages, able to converse with both gun owners and the anti-gun lobby, working to establish a dialogue between the two.
We have to bring people together. This issue has been plagued by a lack of common ground.
And she's making headway. Among those listening to Whitney, Senator Mitch McConnell.
We have been working on trying to get him to a place of common ground for many years.
After lobbying last year for the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, McConnell invited Whitney to be there when the Senate passed the bill.
This is a monumental day.
Signed into law by President Biden, the act expands background checks for gun buyers under 21 and provides more funding for mental health, school safety, and state red flag laws. For Whitney, it is proof positive her push for a common ground is working.
Are you optimistic that you can solve this problem?
I always have more hope than the average human. I think that's natural when you survive 12 bullets.
And that, surviving 12 bullets, is the miracle we mentioned earlier. On September 6, 2018, Whitney was a vice president of Fifth Third Bank, running late to work at the bank's Cincinnati headquarters. She pushed the revolving glass door to enter the building, and in an instant, everything changed.
As soon as I pushed is when the first barrage of bullets hit me.
What did it feel like?
It felt like maybe being on fire, and I thought, these must be bullets. And then my next thought was, this is a mass shooting. That's what this has to be. That's what happens in this country.
Another one!
Whitney had walked into a mass shooting, a gunman entering the bank just moments earlier. Of the 35 bullets he fired, 1/3 struck Whitney in just 60 seconds.
I definitely thought I was going to die. I was coughing up blood. I was saying my prayers.
Whitney did the only thing she could do. She played dead, long enough for police to rescue her and call Waller.
She was all bandaged up, gauze everywhere, blood everywhere, saturated. But she looked like an angel. It's the day that changed our life forever.
This is from the humorous.
Incredibly, not a single bullet penetrated an organ or major artery. Doctors told Whitney she was a miracle. And inspired by that miracle, Whitney set out to work towards another miracle, finding a way to reduce mass shootings in the U.S.
As I was being shot, some of the thoughts flying through my brain were, I can't believe this is me. I've watched this on the news, but I thought it would never happen to me, and it's happening to me. And I've done nothing to stop it. And so I was really convicted from the beginning that if I lived, that I would do something about this thing that I had seen from afar.
From her hospital bed, Whitney and Waller launched their foundation, Whitney Strong, aimed at education, prevention, and legislation. One of Whitney's staunchest allies, fellow Kentuckian Mark Bryant.
Well, you're going to see something you normally never see.
Bryant is the executive director of the Gun Violence Archive, an up-to-the-minute picture of how many shootings occur each day in America.
You've done this for a decade. What kind of trends have you noticed?
There's more violence, there's more anger, and because there's more guns being sold, there's more people with guns, and so you have anger and proximity to weapons. That causes a problem. You got it, guy. You take care.
Bryant works through the night every night, going through police reports and media, seeing in which of 40 categories the shootings fit.
I'm not ever going to be the guy that says, let's ban guns, but there is a wide difference between being an absolutist on either side of this.
Like Whitney, Mark believes the key to reducing gun violence in the U.S. lies in tapping into a middle ground.
What is that middle?
It has to be safety. I use as an example the Mothers Against Drunk Driving. They are not against alcohol. They are not against driving. They are not against people that drink. They are against this lethal combination. And that's how it is with gun violence, at least in my head.
Whitney's shooting is one of the Gun Violence Archive's 5,000 data points of mass shootings. A mass shooting defined as involving 4 or more people. In Cincinnati, 3 died, 2, including Whitney, survived.
This one isn't quite level.
The shooting inspired Waller, a professional artist, to make this piece. Replicas of the gun used to shoot Whitney, each displayed with the number of bullets fired, 35. A physical reminder of what the family's been through and what they are fighting for.
I'm doing this because of my kids. I think mostly people are doing it because of their kids. And that is a very strong conviction. There is no one over here whose conviction for the Second Amendment, the Constitution, that will ever be stronger than my conviction for my kids.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.